This is a question for Mr. Johnson. Most people in the rest of the country don't know that wildfire is a real problem in Hawaii, but it is. And last year, Hawaii has 627 fires that burned over 32,000 acres, with the biggest fires resulting from hurricanes approaching the islands. And just this summer, wildfires burned over 14,000 acres on Maui Island alone, with conditions that firefighters said they had never seen before. The temperatures on Maui were hot, where maximum records were tied or broken 84 times from April through October. The fires moved quickly across what used to be managed sugarcane farmland, but has now gone fallow and been invaded by highly flammable guinea grass. With climate change and the spread of invasive species, Hawaii's wildfire threat is becoming increasingly similar to circumstances in California. And it is important that we learn from those experiences to best plan for our future. Also, like Hawaii, California is a leading state on integrating renewable resources. My question, Mr. Johnson, is how do you think California's move to zero carbon pollution power sources will interact with the need to address wildfire risks? In other words, can utilities build a grid that is resilient to wildfires and other threats while simultaneously using power from mostly renewable sources?
Thank you for that great question. I don't think there's any contradiction between being fire safe and being carbon free. I think you can do both. I think we need to do both. I think the climate problems that we suffer are causing a lot of these fires. It sounds like that's the cause in Hawaii.
Hurricanes.
The hurricanes,
the
size and strength of events is increasing. And so I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I do think in the short term, particularly in California, as we prioritize what we're doing, we may have to prioritize system hardening and fire prevention at the expense a little bit of other things, but this will not get in the way of meeting California's energy goals or renewable goals or any of those things. We will do these together.
And I hope that we can learn from your experiences, and perhaps my office can follow up with you as to what you folks are doing to meet both of these needs. For Mr. Imhoff, DOE's national labs have provided key support to Hawaii's transition to 100 renewable power by 2045. For example, as your additional testimony notes, Sandia National Lab and the National Renewable Energy Lab have been working with Hawaiian Electric to determine how to use advanced controls for distributed energy sources like rooftop solar to improve the performance of the overall power grid. So we have heard a lot today about hardening the grid, but what role can community-scale microgrids using local power sources and energy storage play in ensuring that communities can maintain power or recover quickly from fires, hurricanes, and other hazards?
Thank you for the question, Senator. So local distributed power supplies can help a community ride through an outage, such as a public safety power shutdown, to provide critical services, healthcare, fuel pumping, other things, while the bulk power system is out and being recovered. And that would work for wildfires, it would work for hurricanes and other things. Part of the research in DOE is focused more on how do you network multiple microgrids, which in Hawaii, I know that's the case with your large number of military facilities and all there. How do you coordinate across multiple microgrids and change how they link, how they behave under a blue sky day when they'd be more economically dispatched versus a dark sky day when you might route that power more to the hospitals, healthcare, and fuel, et cetera. So it helps prioritize public safety during times of outage.
So is this kind of networking of microgrids going on in Hawaii, and are you playing a role in that?
It is going on in Hawaii and a number of other places. In Alaska, they have a number of examples of that as well. And a number of commercial vendors are working with DOE and demonstrating those. So that's very, very active in the demonstration phase. It's also connected to the national security agenda in terms of supporting the military bases around the country and using some of their distributed resources as well.
Madam Chair, I know that we have a hard stop, so I'll just submit the other questions for the record. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Hirono.